Always be a student. One of the biggest things I do every single morning, get up, drink a big glass of water, and I either get out on the road or I go to the gym. And I'm either reading a book through audio or listening to amazing stories of people on YouTube. I like to listen to Dave Ramsey, Kiyosaki. There's another good one there I'm forgetting. I like Grant Cardone, right? I like to watch documentaries of successful people. And that's what I want to share with you. Today, by accident, and nothing happens by accident, discovered a man by the name of Sam Zell, Z-E-L-L-E. Go on YouTube and type in Sam Zell documentary. Really cool stories. Really amazing guy. But what is this guy and me going to learn through Sam Zell? Sam Zell is pretty much single-handedly one of the most successful real estate moguls of all time, judging from this documentary. And it was really cool to hear his story as how he found his path. And then what it took for him to get to the point where someone like me, who may never meet him, I don't even know if he's still alive, I'll find out because I'm going to study the hell out of this guy. Why would we study him? And why haven't more heard about him? Why is this just new to me? So Sam's family, he came from a good family. His father was good people. He was a hard worker. His family survived the Holocaust. And as a kid, he was just never much into school, wasn't a big student. But he always had an entrepreneurial way about him. He always had a way of just thinking kind of outside the box. And he actually got his first start, he said, by selling Playboys. He would buy a Playboy for 50 cents, read it. I think he was about 14 at this point. And then he would sell it to people for $3. And that taught him something. I get something for 50 cents, sell it for $3, I'm making money. So it woke up his spirit to a principle as a young man that innately he just started listening to. And it took him to a place of, he bought in a, first he sold himself to a company who bought an apartment building on a campus of a college. And he wrote up a proposal and made out a pamphlet and made himself look like a company to manage the building. And they hired him. And what he did was, and this is important, is he found a need to fulfill. And he said, what do these students, these young kids really want? They wanted a cool place to live in. They wanted a different vibe. So he researched what they were into. They painted the whole place, got rid of the old furniture, put in cool furniture, raised the rents because now it was the place to be. And he killed it. And then he took over the next building that the company had, the next building. Then he woke up one day and said, I'm not going to make big money by working for these people, just managing what they're creating. So he went out and bought his own building, multiple apartments. Then his second one, which I think had 99 apartments, they said. And then it just started going from there, where he just started buying real estate and buildings and making billions of dollars, from a 14-year-old kid selling magazines to being an average student. He actually went to law school just because he wanted to have a degree, but he never really practiced law, to becoming a real estate mogul by just learning some principles along the way by doing. You see, it's one thing to read but it's another thing to just do it. To just get out there and do it. You know, my son had to sell these restaurant coupon tickets for his football team. And, it's easy to sell them to your friends, but I said, you got to stack there. You got to get out in the neighborhood. So he went out in his shorts and no shirt and went door to door and sold them all. And it was pretty cool to see that he took that initiative to do it. And it also made me realize I got to create more opportunities like that for him and my kids to get that experience. But the thing to realize, that I want him to realize, is the money that those people are handing to you, that $20 for that ticket that gives them discounts in restaurants, is not going in his pocket. Imagine if that was going in his pocket, and then you could compound that by hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, millions of dollars. And now he could find his vision for the rest of his life. But ultimately, what really hit me with this gentleman, Sam Zell, was within an interview that they did for him. And again, there was struggles for him. There was failures for him. But his mindset, and when you hear him talk and you see his eyes, you see I'm never going down. I'm not quitting. It's a different risk reward. He'll take risk if he sees the reward. But he also knows, he ended up buying a newspaper, that the risk was high, but the reward was bigger if it succeeded. And it didn't succeed. I believe it was 2008 when this whole transaction went down, and he ended up losing money on the deal. And the interviewer said to him, what about that deal? That was a bad deal. He said, if I had to do it all over again, I would, because the reward was bigger if it succeeded. But I had to take the hit. I had to take the chance. How many chances are people missing because they don't even take it, because they're afraid of the risk? They look at the risk instead of looking at the risk reward and say, hey, if I work hard, I push it and get some luck, it's going to be a huge reward. And that's how this guy thinks. They're part of a certain percentage of the world that we never see. And you look at all these buildings and things around us that we're all going into, I always think someone owns this. And now I'm learning about them. And what I'm learning is their mindset, the vision they have. But the bigger picture is they don't let the fear. I don't know if they don't have fear, but they don't let the fear stop them when they could see the reward and they're willing to take the risk. And as long as they have enough successes and the rewards are big enough, when you start to have a failure down the road where he lost, I think, $8 million on this deal, it wasn't as a big deal because he had $1 billion. So he said, if I had to do it all over again, I would. And the woman said, you're 80 years old. Will you ever retire? He said, retire? I don't work. You see, he did a quick stint in the law firm and he realized it wasn't for him. He says, I haven't worked since I left that law firm. And there's a huge principle in that. When you love what you do, when you have passion for what you do, it's not work. You don't get tired. You proverbially get tired where you may have to take a nap or sleep, but you don't get tired of the process. You don't get tired when you're on a mission. If you want to raise your standard to get to the next level, we have to learn to think like these people. Because if we achieve and do what they do on a day in out basis, we're going to hit a level that we never saw possible in our life. So study other people. Study documentaries. You could sit on TikTok and watch silly things, or you could sit on TikTok and learn amazing things. You could go on YouTube and watch silly things, or you could go on YouTube and learn amazing things. We all have a choice, and the choice we make today is going to dictate our tomorrow.